Our storm team says some parts of the region should prepare for a return to winter weather this weekend. Maybe that's not what you wanted to hear tonight, but thanks for tuning in to News Channel 11 at 7. I'm Ashley Sharp. Take a look here at this live scene from Beach Mountain, North Carolina. Snow flurries on and off there this afternoon, and snow is in the forecast for parts of our region. Several areas are already under winter weather advisories. Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mark Reynolds is in the Storm Center keeping a close watch of the radar. And Mark, this is just part of spring. We have the warm weather, but unfortunately, we got the snow.
And you know what? I hope this is the last snow of the season.
Me too.
We may turn cool again the end of next week. But you know what? The Beach Mountain snow, you could see the grass earlier this afternoon. So it's falling pretty quickly. And now 1.5 inches of snow being reported at 4,100 feet on Roan Mountain by a weather watcher there. Take a look right now. You're looking at scenes down from Bays Mountain. A lot of low clouds. We do have some rain showers around, some snow showers around as well. We're going to keep that moisture going as we go through the evening. We've been watching snow showers in Boone, North Carolina as well. Kind of a little bit of a delay there now, so no snow falling, but look again, Beach Mountain, snow coming down. Visibilities are low because of the gusty winds and the snow showers. 44 at the airport, holding on to a west wind at 7. There's our look at our Viper radar. Watching the rain, some snow showers over the higher elevations, all because we're watching this large area of low pressure. It brings the cold air in overnight. The winter weather advisory is in effect until 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Good reason for that. This is what we're anticipating in terms of snowfall. Parts of southwest Virginia, eastern Kentucky, into the spine of the Appalachian Mountains. We'll see the better chance of accumulation, higher terrain. Now we're talking the gardens of Roan Mountain, may see as much as 6 to 8 inches, also top of Beach Mountain, even through Grayson County. Don't be surprised though, some of the lower elevations see a dusting to less than an inch early in the morning. We'll have much more on that storm team forecast and a nice warming trend coming up in just a few more minutes.
Thanks. New information tonight surrounding a state agency's investigation into an area utilities finances. As News Channel 11 first reported yesterday, the Tennessee Comptroller's Office conducted an investigation into South Fork Utility in Sullivan County. State officials said the investigation revealed questionable payments of nearly $1.7 million to companies owned or led by Utility District Manager Gary Smith. Today, Sullivan County Mayor Richard Venable urged Smith and South Fork Utility District's Board of Directors to resign. In a statement to News Channel 11, Mayor Venable added that, quote, "Unfortunately, Tennessee law does not give the office of county mayor the authority to remove board members. Those powers are instead reserved for the comptroller and/or the courts, as the case may be," end quote. The investigation into the utilities finances continues, and we'll keep following the story. Watch for updates on air and online at WJHL.com. Here's a live look from the White House, where today a celebration took place marking the historic confirmation of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson as the first black woman confirmed to the Supreme Court. Natalie Brand takes us to the emotional event where Judge Jackson thanked her supporters.
Noting the history that made this moment possible.
It has taken 232 years and 115 prior appointments for a black woman to be selected to serve on the Supreme Court of the United States.
And reflecting on her own personal story.
In my family, it took just one generation to go from segregation to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Soon-to-be Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson celebrated her confirmation by thanking her supporters, biggest of all her daughters and husband Patrick.
I don't know that I believed you when you said that I could do this, but now I do.
Also among the attendees, members of the president's cabinet and Congress, and dozens of women of color who see themselves in Judge Jackson.
You will inspire generations of leaders.
We're going to look back and see this as a moment of real change.
Judge Jackson also thanked her mentors, including Justice Stephen Breyer, who she will replace when he retires this summer. When she does, it'll be the most diverse U.S. Supreme Court in its history, with 3 justices of color and 4 women.
It is an honor, the honor of a lifetime, for me to have this chance to join the court.
Judge Jackson is set to hear arguments on several major issues next term, including voting rights and electoral maps, religious liberty, and LGBTQ rights. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Another big case set for the Supreme Court's next term is a challenge to affirmative action involving Harvard University. Judge Jackson has already said that she will recuse herself since she's on Harvard's Board of Overseers. Tonight, Ballot Health announced some personal and medical information of patients may have been compromised in an email breach. A news release from the healthcare system says it found out about unusual activity with an employee's email account in January. Ballot says the account was accessed without authorization for a limited amount of time, but officials could not determine which email messages or attachments may have been viewed. Ballot located the address information of affected individuals, and officials say they are not aware of any misuse of information. Today, Cody Webb was in Sullivan County Court for a motions hearing ahead of his murder trial in August. He's charged with first-degree murder in the death of a 4-year-old child in Kingsport back in 2018. He's also charged with tampering with evidence and aggravated child abuse in the death of Addison Kane. The defense has requested those charges be split into 2 separate trials. Assistant District Attorney William Harper says the state is seeking justice for the child.
It really is sad. Obviously, the family, there's a lot of hurt there. Our job is to hold the person accountable who committed the offense, and that's what we intend to do.
Details have not yet been released surrounding how Addison died. Webb was dating the child's mother at the time that she was killed. No one else is facing any charges related to Addison's death. Webb's trial begins in August. Time on train tracks landed a Johnson City man behind bars facing multiple charges. Police officers said they found Dennis Hartless last night on tracks near the area of East State of Franklin Road and Interstate 26. Officers told Hartless that he was trespassing and asked him multiple times to get off the tracks and remove his hands from his pockets. Now, when he did not comply, officers deployed a stun gun. At the same time, officers said that Hartless pulled a gun from his pocket and aimed it at officers. The stun gun caused him to drop the weapon. Hartless is charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault on a first responder, criminal trespassing, resisting arrest, and being a felon in possession of a gun. Today, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee got an up-close look at the damage from wildfires in Sevier County last week. The fires in Wears Valley and the DuPont area of Seymour are 100% contained. The governor said after seeing the damage, he is heartbroken but thankful for the work of first responders in Sevier County and across the state. He described the damage as in the tens of millions of dollars. When asked if he would ask President Biden for a disaster declaration, Governor Lee said this.
It's hard to say. There are thresholds that if we meet those thresholds, then we can make that request. And until the assessments are done, really too soon to say.
The Hatcher Mountain Indigo Lane wildfire in Wears Valley burned more than 3,700 acres. The wildfire in DuPont burned nearly 1,000. Now, the good news, no one died in either wildfire, and only a few injuries were reported. Lawmakers in the Tennessee House approved a measure Thursday to make the drug ivermectin available over the counter. The Tennessee Senate approved the bill a day prior. Now it's on its way to Governor Bill Lee's desk. Senators Frank Nicely of Strawberry Plains and Rusty Crowe of Johnson City sponsored that legislation. Over the course of the pandemic, many people have turned to ivermectin to treat or try and prevent COVID-19.
And there's science that says it works and science that says it doesn't work. There are several doctors that are very well thought of that think it's something that can help, and there are many that say that it can't.
Senator Crowe says the bill is for the public's safety, so they can get ivermectin for humans easily.
Right now we have people that are going to co-ops and Tractor Supply and to friends to get ivermectin to help them with pre-COVID symptoms. And some of them are getting very sick.
According to the Food and Drug Administration, ivermectin is approved for use in humans to treat some parasitic worms, external parasites like head lice, and for some skin conditions. Now, the FDA has not approved the drug to treat or prevent COVID-19 in humans.
All right, we're still holding on to that chance of rain and snow showers overnight into your Saturday. We're warming up, though, on Sunday, but accumulations for the mountains the next 24 hours. That Storm Team forecast coming up.
And the Academy reacts to Will Smith's Oscars incident. You'll hear his punishment coming up on News Channel 11 at 7. Today, new details surrounding the murder of 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell revealed during testimony in court. Thanks for choosing News Channel 11 at 7. I'm Ashley Sharp. The child's mother, Megan Boswell, appeared before a judge today. She faces numerous charges in the death of her child, baby Evelyn, including 2 counts of felony murder. Ansley Daniel attended today's hearing. She takes us inside the courtroom for the testimony.
The point of today's hearing was the severance motion put forth by Megan Boswell's attorney to separate her false reports to police from her other charges. But while the TBI special agent took the stand for the testimony today, we also learned more details about when Evelyn was murdered, the night her body was found, and even that at one point Megan told police that she knew her daughter was dead.
She did say she was aware that Evelyn was dead. However, she told the story that it resulted from either her or Hunter Wood rolling over the child while sleeping, but she did not know the location of Evelyn's body.
Testimony from the state gave new details on the night her daughter's body was found.
We found the remains inside of a building that was referred to by the family as the Playhouse. It was out behind what I would call a storage building on the property, and this Playhouse was built by defendant Megan's grandfather as a playhouse for her when she was a child.
The state also revealing when they believe Evelyn was killed.
The defendant began spreading this misinformation, began telling false reports to everyone, family, friends, anyone who would ask, about where Evelyn was at or near the time of when this murder was committed, which was back in December of 2019, which would have been 2.5 months before law enforcement was ever even involved.
But Boswell's attorney says if the charges are separated, resulting in 2 trials, the evidence of the false reports can also be brought up when trying the other 7.
What we're trying to avoid is a situation where the jury can say she's been found guilty of filing a false report in these counts, so therefore she has been guilty of the murder.
The testimony from that special agent discussed several other false reports made, most of them revolving around custody issues over Evelyn. In Blunteville, Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
Ansley, thank you. Judge Jim Goodwin will issue a written decision on the motion to separate Megan Boswell's charges into 2 trials. He did not give a timeline for when that decision will be issued. You can watch all of today's testimony in the Megan Boswell hearing right now on WJHL.com. Just click the news tab and look for Justice for Evelyn. The suspect in a Carter County attempted murder investigation is on the run tonight. The Carter County Sheriff's Office identified 40-year-old Eric Thompson as the suspect in a shooting last night in Roan Mountain. Investigators believe the shooting may have taken place at Thompson's home on Shell Creek Road. The male victim was found in a car with multiple gunshot wounds at a gas station on Highway 19E. The Sheriff's Office says the victim is in critical condition tonight. Investigators believe a dispute over personal property sparked the shooting. Here's another look at the suspect, Eric Thompson. If you have information that can help investigators find him, you need to call the Carter County Sheriff's Office. Well, our storm team says winter weather will make a brief return to parts of our region this weekend. Meteorologist Alex Williams joins us from the Storm Center with what we can expect. Alex?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe, Ashley, that we're talking about winter weather in the midst of April. I mean, the beginning of April for that time being. Now, I was reminded today it did snow on Easter, April 15th, back in the 70s. But we're definitely looking at winter weather as we go into the evening. Well, not this evening, but into the weekend is what I meant to say. I don't want to jump start us. We're not looking at winter weather tonight. However, winter weather advisories are already up for parts of the areas. We go into the day tomorrow. You will see the forecast featuring the clouds kind of increasing, well, kind of breaking apart through the evening and then increasing once again as we go into the day tomorrow. Notice the southwesterly winds sticking with us. Watch what happens as we go into the afternoon. It's like you hit a switch and all of a sudden we see all these little showery precipitation. This is very much of that kind of springtime showery precipitation where you see those little quick downpours, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder. But look, as we go into Friday evening, we're watching, yes, the blue starting to come on the map, and that means some snow chances will be coming back to the forecast with, yes, accumulating snow, especially in parts of the mountain, southwest Virginia. Off to a very nice start to the evening. We'll have a full forecast and a look at those snow chances and timing coming up in just a few minutes. Ashley.
Alex, thank you. Federal Aviation Administration officials will be in Johnson County tomorrow to investigate this scene. Johnson County Airport Manager Dave Garris told us a local pilot crashed at the end of the runway during takeoff. Garris said the pilot cleared the airport's border fence and then skidded across Crackers Neck Road and landed in a creek. Officials on the scene said the plane is not leaking fuel into the creek. After the crash, the pilot was flown to a hospital. Here's a live look from Capitol Hill, where history was made today when the Senate voted to confirm Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to the U.S. Supreme Court. 3 Republicans voted yes with the Democrats as President Biden and his nominee watched the big moment together from the White House. As Natalie Brand reports, a ceremony is expected tomorrow to celebrate the vote.
This nomination is confirmed.
With a historic vice president presiding, the Senate made it official. 51-year-old federal appeals court judge Ketanji Brown Jackson will now become the first black woman to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court.
We have just made a decision to put this extraordinary jurist on the highest court of our land. It's a good statement about who we are.
Some Senate Republicans continued to voice opposition to her confirmation right up to the time of the historic vote.
I believe she will prove to be the furthest left of any justice to have ever served on the Supreme Court.
But in the end, 3 Republicans, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and Mitt Romney, sided with all 50 Democrats in a show of bipartisan support. Thursday's vote comes after Judge Jackson faced nearly 23 hours of questioning and had nearly 100 face-to-face meetings with lawmakers. It also fulfills one of President Biden's key campaign promises to put a black woman on the U.S. Supreme Court.
I'm the father of a young black girl. I know how much it means for Judge Jackson to have navigated the double jeopardy of racism and sexism to now stand in the glory of this moment.
The Harvard Law graduate and previous federal district court judge will also become the first former public defender to serve on the high court. Judge Jackson will replace Associate Justice Stephen Breyer, her former boss when she was a law clerk in his chambers. Justice Breyer retires at the end of the Supreme Court's current term. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
An Elizabethton man is charged with murder after what police call a domestic incident. Elizabethton police officers say they found the body of Mitchell Claffey at an apartment on Mountain View Drive off of Milligan Highway Wednesday morning. Police said Claffey was stabbed multiple times. Investigators identified Mark Cordray as the victim's partner and the suspect. They said that Cordray had also cut himself with a knife. After being released from the hospital, Cordray was booked into the Carter County Jail on a first-degree murder charge. In an effort to further isolate Russia, today the House and Senate fast-tracked 2 bills aimed at stopping Russian trade with the United States. Raquel Martin explains the rare display of bipartisanship.
Putin must absolutely be held accountable.
In a rare display of bipartisanship,
the bill as amended is passed.
Thursday, the entire Senate and all but 3 House Republicans voted to permanently end normal trade relations with Russia and Belarus.
To send the message to a dictator in Russia who was killing innocent women and children in the streets of Ukraine.
It is time to act now.
On the House floor, Texas Republican Congressman Kevin Brady and Massachusetts Democratic Congressman Richard Neal said the bill will help ensure American dollars do not fuel Russia's violence in Ukraine.
It will not immediately end the funding of the Putin war machine, but it is a step in the right direction.
The removal of Russia's special trade status puts Russia in the same category as North Korea and allows the U.S. to drastically increase tariffs on Russian imports.
Slowly tightening the noose on Russia and making them pay.
Still, Oregon Democratic Congressman Earl Blumenauer says he wishes Congress acted sooner. The House originally passed the bill last month.
This is past due.
Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley says while Congress starts a 2-week recess, he hopes the administration takes further steps to help Ukraine.
I do think that Congress has been pushing the administration, and we're going to have to keep doing it. At this point, we've given them literally billions of dollars in military aid. It's up to the administration to actually now give it to the Ukrainians.
In Washington, Raquel Martin.
The House and Senate also passed a bill to make a ban on Russian oil imports official. Today, the White House confirmed the president will sign both bills. A spokesperson for House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says that she tested positive for COVID-19 today. That's a day after the 82-year-old Democratic leader appeared unmasked at a White House event with President Joe Biden. Speaker Pelosi is currently asymptomatic and tested negative earlier in the week. Her spokesperson said that she will quarantine consistent with CDC guidelines. Weekly COVID-19 data released by Ballot Health today showed a decline in hospitalizations due to the virus. Ballot Health officials say that 50 COVID-19 patients are currently hospitalized at their facilities. That is down 7 from last week. Of those hospitalized, they do say 86% are not vaccinated. 5 COVID-19 patients are currently in intensive care and 5 are on a ventilator, none of whom have gotten a vaccine.
Again, believe it or not, we are tracking wintry weather as we go towards the weekend. What will the forecast hold for tomorrow, though? Do we see snow? We'll have the accurate Storm Team 11 forecast for you just on the other side of this break.
Tonight at 7, a Bristol, Virginia police officer charged with murder pleads not guilty. Jury selection for his trial is underway.
And still watching another round of some light drizzle, even some snow flurries for some overnight, but we clear it out. Chilly day tomorrow, the forecast coming up.
Plus, a spicy announcement from Taco Bell, a customer favorite, is returning to the menu. We'll tell you what it is and when you can order it. News Channel 11 at 7 starts now.
Live, you're watching News Channel 11 at 7.
In our top stories tonight, a Bristol, Virginia Police Department officer pleads not guilty to murder and the other charges that he faces. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Ashley Sharp. Jury selection began today in the trial of Jonathan Brown. Brown is currently suspended without pay from the Bristol, Virginia Police Department. A grand jury indicted Brown in May of 2021 on charges of murder, use of a firearm in commission of murder, and malicious shooting into an occupied vehicle. Again, Brown has pleaded not guilty to all of these charges today. The charges stem from a March 30th, 2021 shooting at a Bristol motel in which Jonathan Kohler died. Prosecutors say Brown shot and killed Kohler. Brown alleged that Kohler refused to get out of his vehicle and drove toward him. Roanoke Commonwealth's attorney Don Caldwell is prosecuting the case after he was appointed as a special prosecutor due to a conflict of interest with local prosecutors. Heather Howard is representing Brown in the case. 92 potential jurors reported to be screened for the case this morning. Jury selection resumes tomorrow. Johnson City police are looking for the person who shot a man inside of a car in the parking lot of the Monarch Apartments near East Tennessee State University. The call of the shooting came in around 1:30 on Saturday morning. Officers did not see any evidence of gunshots when they arrived. About 15 minutes later, another call came in about a man at Johnson City Medical Center with 2 non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. Police said the victim was driving from the parking lot when it happened.
They said they didn't have any problems that night with anybody, hadn't had any problems. It just seemed like a random incident. Nobody was on the scene could tell us where the shots even come from. So we don't know if it was in a car or somebody on foot.
If you have any information about the weekend gunfire in the Monarch parking lot, the Johnson City Police Department wants to hear from you. A soggy Monday across the Tri-Cities region today. Many of you likely wondering when the sky will clear. We're going to join meteorologist Mark Reynolds now with a first look at your forecast. Mark.
Hey there, Ashley. We are looking at clearing skies tomorrow, but a different scene tonight. Take a look at Snowshoe in West Virginia. They've been watching snow there, and a winter weather advisory in effect for parts of West Virginia tonight. More light snow there. We could also see some light snow in our northern counties of southwest Virginia, Tazewell County, even possibly down into northern Smith County. Going to watch out overnight tonight. Take a look, 50 degrees right now. Tri-City Airport, a west wind at 14 miles per hour, and we're watching more limited moisture coming in from the northwest. Light rain and snow showers coming out at us during the overnight. The snow again across our northern counties of southwest Virginia. Viper radar not showing much, but we do have some drizzle still lingering. And as we go through time, we'll watch some of that moisture advancing in from the northwest. You can see it right here after 11 o'clock. There comes a band of snow. We'll keep that chance of snow showers going in the early morning hour, clearing out tomorrow. And then get ready. We're looking at full sunshine tomorrow. It's going to be a very windy day. West-northwest winds anywhere from 10 to 20, gusts to about 25 to 30 miles per hour. It's going to be very windy, very chilly with those highs in the 50s, but we are warming up to near 80 degrees again by Friday. That is some welcome news. More on that forecast coming up in just a few more minutes.
Mark, thank you. Tonight we remember a legendary Tri-Cities businessman and philanthropist. A close family contact confirmed to News Channel 11 that Bill Gatton passed away today at Bristol Regional Medical Center. Gatton moved to Bristol, Tennessee in 1969 and purchased the Chevrolet and Cadillac dealership on State Street. He grew his business to become the Bill Gatton Automotive Group, which he continued to own until his death. His support of East Tennessee State University led to the 2005 opening of the Bill Gatton College of Pharmacy. Gatton was 89 years old. News Channel 11 continues to search for answers to how a terminated travel nurse was able to practice medicine after being fired from Ballad Health. The nurse in question is Jacqueline Brewster, whose name was just released to the public last week following the suspension of her multi-state nursing license in West Virginia in March. Brewster was fired from Ballad in July for allegedly tampering with narcotics. While that incident happened nearly a year ago, this is the first time that her victims and their attorneys have been notified of her name. Robert Bates, who is representing 8 individuals who were treated by Brewster at Ballad Health, said it's something he's been asking for since the start.
I reached out to their legal counsel and asked for the identity of the nurse and who she was working for, anything else, and that was denied. And then once we sent the letters, the certified letters, as we're required to by law, Ballad was actually required by law at that time to disclose who she was. They did not do so.
Ballad Health is not commenting on the matter at this time. Brewster has a hearing in Tennessee scheduled with the Department of Health on April 24th. Today marks the end of a massive 777-day effort by Ballad Health to fight COVID-19 across our region. The healthcare system announced effective today they are closing their Corporate Emergency Operations Center. That's the group of leaders behind Ballad's COVID-19 response since the start of the pandemic. The center was activated when the first cases of COVID-19 were diagnosed in our area in March of 2020. And due to a decline in cases, the response is no longer needed.
You know, we're in a good state. I wish we could stay in this state to where we have low positivity. If we could, get our vaccine coverage up a little bit and not have to go through another surge. I really hope that this is the end and that we don't have a surge, but certainly our job is to keep our eye on that and let you know if that's changing.
With the closure of the COVID Emergency Operations Center, Ballad Health officials announced today will be the last COVID-19 data report issued by the system. Here's a look at that data. As of today, Ballad is reporting 28 hospitalized COVID-19 patients. Of those, 3 are in intensive care and 4 are on a ventilator. Also effective today at Ballad, the health system removed all COVID-related visitation restrictions in its offices and facilities. However, all visitors and staff are still required to wear a mask in all patient care and public areas. A bill moving through the Tennessee legislature encourages you to think of your pets during severe weather. They're looking to add criminal penalties for a person who knowingly restrains a dog outside during extreme weather. House Bill 2860 would create a Class C misdemeanor offense for a person who knowingly restrains a dog with a chain, cord, tether, cable, or any similar device while a natural or man-made disaster is imminent or occurring.
If pets are tied up in yards and there's anything else going on like flooding, they could drown, they could choke themselves trying to get away. Same with a tornado, and obviously if you're outside during a tornado, there are so many health risks with flying objects and such.
Now, if passed, violating the law would be punishable by up to a month in jail and a $50 fine. Senator John Lumberg of Bristol is one of the lawmakers who introduced the legislation. The Senate passed the legislation last week, and it's now being considered by the House. Virginia State Police need your help cracking down on human trafficking in the Commonwealth. Our Capitol Bureau reporter Jackie DeFusco shows us how the state is working to raise awareness.
Yeah, Virginia State Police starting Operation Safe Passage this week. They say it's an outreach campaign to raise awareness about human trafficking as reports rise. Officers standing by at truck stops and rest centers across the state to educate drivers on possible signs. VSP says victims are often children or vulnerable adults. They say the crime can happen anywhere, but it's more common in cities and along high-traffic interstates. They say victims may appear fearful, submissive, confused, or isolated. They may also have bruising or show signs of being denied food, water, sleep, or medical care. The Virginia Trucking Association making sure their drivers are prepared to spot these problems on the road. Meantime, State Police Colonel Gary Settle says they're increasing enforcement by forming a new unit with more officers dedicated to human trafficking specifically.
There's more attention and there's more motivation to cure this problem than I've ever seen in my 37 years.
Virginia State Police says anybody who suspects human trafficking can report it by dialing #77 on their cell phone or by simply dialing 911. Reporting in Richmond, I'm Jackie DeFusco.
Well, today's rainy weather delayed a paving project in Johnson City, but city officials tell us weather permitting, work is scheduled to start tomorrow on Carroll Creek Road. The paving will cause lane closures between 2105 Carroll Creek Road and the railroad tunnel. Crews will be in the area tomorrow through Thursday from 8 to 5 daily.
Keeping the clouds overnight, some areas of drizzle and light rain, Tri-Cities. Light snow showers possible north and northeast of us. Storm team forecast is coming up.
Plus, the President and First Lady welcomed 30,000 kids and adults to the White House for the first Easter egg roll since before the COVID-19 pandemic. We reveal the special touches included in this year's celebration coming up on News Channel 11 at 7.